Hi guys, it's me Ty and I'm back with another unboxing. Here I have Nendoroid number 725, Megumin from that crazy series, Konosuba. So yeah guys, here she is. As I mentioned several times before, Konosuba is one of my favorite series. I don't know why, it's just pretty crazy, pretty funny. And if you remember, I also have Nendoroid Aqua from the series. Megumin, it just happens to be the second Nendoroid release for it. So here she is. It's a little bit hard to see her from the front of the box just because with all the lights I have around here, there's a lot of glare going on. But the first thing you do kind of notice right here is her huge wizard hat, which you can see from here. She looks really cute wearing it. I love this hat. It's really crazy. I love the buttons on top and everything. It's adorable. But yeah, guys, here she is. You may have noticed this box is slightly wider than a standard Nendoroid box, and that's just pretty much because this huge hat takes up a lot of space. But it looks really cool, and I can't wait to unbox the Nendoroid. So yeah, like I said, here's Megumin. So like I said, here's the front. So you can see they just did the front pretty plain, just basically in her standard colors, which is like the red, some of the yellow from like the hat, and a little bit of the brown. You can see her up top here looking really cool with the eye patch. Down here, over here, this side, and finally the back. So yeah, in every pose they show on this box, she just looks amazing. So yeah guys, let's get into it. Okay guys, and here's our first look at Megumin outside of the box and out of all her plastic. As you can see, she looks really adorable. I love all the details, how Good Smile Company really paid attention to all of that to really match her outfit, how it is portrayed in the series. So really quite cute. But I admit my posing skills matches nothing as it is on the box itself, but I don't think it looks too bad overall. Turning her around, you can see what I mentioned about the details. You see how her cape is kind of like as if it was like windswept in the back. Really cool details how they put on the staff. They even included like the little red orb right there, really cool. And how she has like one black sock, and I don't know if there's a white sock or like a bandage wrapped the white one on the other leg, but really pretty cool. You can see she's kind of shaking a bit on here, but you can see her belt is actually kind of flexible and posable as well, so it makes that a little easy posing her. And her cape, really cool look, like I said. And the hat is my favorite part, though I admit the hat is kind of how they did the hat, how they did with if you saw Akachan from that Nendoroid from Little Witch Academia. I don't know why I couldn't get that out. It's just similar to that. I guess that's just the newer way they're doing with hats. You can see the buttons here, but what I meant about how it's done with that is that it just kind of sits on her head like this. So anyway you're moving it around, if you're just kind of picking it up and carrying the Nendoroid around, this hat probably is going to fall off. Yeah, so that's the only other thing. I love the details, and I do love how it's just so easy to put the hat on and off. Except the fact that it will actually just quite fall off. But now that her hat is off, you can kind of see her hairstyle. They did keep that close to how she is in the series as well, so pretty cool. Oh, and also besides the problem of the hat probably falling off, you can see she was quite wobbling when I was kind of showing off her pose. But the one hand I have for that is a little bit loose on mine. I don't know if that's going to be the same for everyone, but it's quite loose for me, so her hand kind of just turns a lot while holding this heavier staff, but it's not too bad. It just, that's why this is shifting a lot. Sorry about that. But as I was saying with the cape, I do like it, and I do like it a lot, and especially in a way of that it's easy to put on and remove, in that it basically just sits on her shoulders. So that's pretty cool. There's no fussing with like trying to remove the head or the outfit or the arms or anything like that to get it on as some of the older Nendoroids were. This is just basically, you see it's open at the neck, so you basically just put it on her shoulders. That said, if it wasn't for the arm of the base holding it in place, you can see back here, if I turn it, the cape actually has a hole in the back to match the hole in the back of the Nendoroid. So you have the base keeping that on. Without the arm of the base, keeping the cape on the shoulders of the Nendoroid would be pretty difficult. Like the hat, because it's just sitting on her shoulders, it just falls off constantly. constantly from that. So that's a bit difficult with that. I would have preferred if it was a little bit stiffer on her shoulders. That way, you know, because sometimes you want to attempt to pose it. I don't know if some people do photography with the Nendoroids or not. You might not have the arm of the base in there, you know, so you would just kind of want the cape to stay, and it probably will just be falling off. So let me just show you guys real quick what I mean. And taking this off, you can see with the arm of the base how they do have the peg on it slightly longer than usual to kind of account for the fact that you're putting it through both the cape and the back. So that's pretty good that they did that, and since that basically is the only thing holding it on. But you see, here is the cape and here is just the opening. So basically, let me move her staff. It just fits right here on her shoulder like this. Not like the way I did it because I just knocked her arm off. Yeah, but it basically pretty easy, but moving her around and you see exactly what I mean. So there is Megumin, the armless Megumin. Okay guys, and following that we seem to have Megumin gearing up to use her magic. Now as you kind of can see, out of one eye she has a bit of a gleam effect there, and she's wearing her eye patch, so she looks really cool. I don't think you guys can actually tell how cool she actually looks. It's a little bit weird. It's one of those poses that looks better actually in person. So if you're like staring at it from a certain eye view, like from the angle I'm looking at it, it looks amazing. Looking at it through the view screen of the camera, however, it might be a little bit off, but trust me, in person, this pose is just amazing. So here she is, guys. Let me just turn her around to the side so you can see a bit more of that effect piece. You can see it's kind of made of like, sorry, I tapped her. It's sort of made of like some red translucent material, so it might be a little hard to show up on camera, and maybe that is also throwing off the attire look. But you can see her eye patch looks just so cute. I love this one right here. So yeah, really cool pose. Really love it. Other than that, basically she's still in a almost exact same stance as she was for that first pose, so not much has really changed there. But even though while the pose itself is amazing, I do have to admit that I did have some trouble with the execution of it. Odd choice. I don't even know why Good Smile Company went the route they did when they did it. I mean, I understand it looks cool now, but it was just so much work to put it together. But you can see with the effect piece here, it kind of floats right here. If you ever seen before with Nendoroids, when they have glasses and things like that, they tend to be little slots on the side of the hairpiece, and that's kind of how they fit in. Well, it works similar to that with the effect piece here. However, let me just take it off this way. Instead of like a little tab, it's mostly like a peg and a slot for both that and the patch piece. You can kind of see here, and see it falling out is the exact issue I was having, which is why I said the execution was a bit difficult. So you see here, the tip of it has just this little peg right here. I don't know if it's quite focusing there, right there. And you can see on the side, instead of just a slot that it slits into, it's actually a little peg hole. So you kind of have to like push it in there. So really hard to see, but I'll show you here on the eye patch. Two has a peg, and it fits into the little hole right here where my finger is. Pushing it in there and then trying to keep it together to put it on the Nendoroid was just a major hassle. It tends to fall off quite a bit for me. I don't know if it does for everyone else. But once you can kind of get it to stay, to get the front bang piece on, then everything looks okay and it just sits there a bit steady. But initially I was just having so much trouble with that, so I just figured I would just mention that to you all. But yeah, it was totally worth it because that pose came out amazing. Okay guys, next pose up, and as we can see, Megumin looks totally different. She no longer has her hat and cape on, and she has a different expression. In fact, she looks quite embarrassed, as you can kind of see. And for those who've seen the series, you might recognize where this pose come from. Yes, trust Good Smile Company to include this one pose, and it's basically after Kazuma used his panty stealing trick on her, you know, with that one magical skill he has, and she was kind of asking for them back. So she's quite embarrassed because yeah, he took her underwear, and so that's what this scene is supposed to convey. So pretty cool pose, I guess. I mean, you think about the subject matter of where it came from, but it just is a totally different look from how her standard arch wizard look with her hat and her cape. So figured, yeah, the only other difference is that her one hand is, you know, held out because she's asking for them back, and this other arm has changed here where it's basically just showing like her holding her using her hand to hold down her dress. So of course nothing will flip up while she's waiting to get those things returned. So yeah, guys, pretty funny pose, I do have to say. Look at her little bashful expression. It's a little hard to see on camera, but she does have like the red lines there on each cheek like she's blushing, and you can kind of slightly see the little wobbly lines for her mouth like she's gonna cry or something like that. So yeah, there's Megumin. Okay guys, we're almost done, but as you can see in this next pose, Megumin has unleashed her most powerful spell ever, which is Explosion, which is pretty much her only spell. But as you can see, it's a really cool pose, guys. I have to say, I love this one. It's slightly off because I kind of switched this around, but as you can see, Good Smile Company included this effect piece right here to kind of show like her explosion magic in action. I love all the oranges and yellows kind of swirling around. It even kind of forms like a star shaped in the middle, so really cool effect, guys, I do have to say. And it even comes with its own little base that it sits on here. See that as well in this arm, just so you can kind of pose it around her staff. But other than that, not much has changed with Megumin, except you can see she's wearing her most serious expression. This is the third faceplate included with the Nendoroid. So I mean, it's not much different from her original faceplate, except as you can see, her mouth is like wide open as if she's shouting the spell. So pretty cool. Also, her hands is kind of up and her staff is pointed that way. But there's also one other change. I'm not sure how many of you will notice from this little quick view of her here, but if you look at her staff, you can see that this orb piece in the middle has changed. Originally, remember, it was like this red color. Well, apparently that comes out, and it included this other lighter pink orb to kind of show the staff in action as if it's like charged up. It's like a clear pink, transparent, but it has, oh, I just knocked it off, but good, I can show you a little bit better, guys, sorry. But you can see from here, it has like a little almost clear star within it, kind of, that moves around just to kind of show the magic in action. So I thought that was a really cool effect that they did that. Just a simple little detail, but you can see like they just included everything with that. So really cool detail. Okay guys, final pose, and it's a fairly simple one. As we all know, once Megumin uses her one and only spell, her explosion magic, yeah, she kind of gets drained of MP, and this happens. She collapses. So yeah, that's basically all there is to it. There's no change, there's no nothing. It's just Megumin laying flat out on the ground. So pretty funny that they just kind of showed that off as well. And like I said, that brings us to the end of this unboxing. I'm not quite sure how to rate this one. I admit I did have a few little problems with the Nendoroid, like with a loose hand or some things falling off or just trouble putting those effect pieces on. I will admit that. And I'll take a few points off for it. So I'll give this about an 8. Sure, I'm being biased. I do admit, I mean, it is one of my favorite characters, so I can't even say, yeah, I definitely am being a little bit biased, I admit. Let me know what you guys think. Am I being biased, or should it be higher, lower score, or what do you guys think? Sure, she could have come with a few more pieces, but again, the character in the series doesn't have much she comes with besides her staff and following around with the others. So yeah, I'm not sure what else they could have added. So yeah, overall I think an 8 is a good idea. But like I said, let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and as usual, like, comment, subscribe, especially subscribe even if you hate it watching this video. With YouTube's new rules, yeah, I just figure I'll just throw that in for now on. So thanks for watching, guys. Again, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Bye.